Hey y'all, Ash here. I never know what to do with my intros, so I resort to stealing ideas from other creators. Now, I may be the scum of the earth because of that, but at least I wasn't excited for No Man's Sky and pre-ordered the game at full price. Damn it. I was incredibly hyped for this game when I first heard about it. A seemingly infinite universe, every planet being unique, everything being unique. No Man's Sky, when it was first announced back in 2013, promised all of these things, with vibrant worlds and fantastic creatures, a universe so big that the chances of you finding another player would be indiscriminately low. Sandworms! Yeah, literally none of this was provided at launch. But I'm not here to bash No Man's Sky, that's been done already, and honestly at this point it's not really deserved. During No Man's Sky's launch in 2016, Hello Games was met with a ton of controversy. People labeling them as liars and scammers of a game that was overhyped and underdelivered. But something you have to commend about this team is that they didn't give up on No Man's Sky, and after 4 years after its release, 6 years after its announcement, they finally added a Sandworms. All of this is just a way of saying, I like No Man's Sky, it's a really good game. But I don't find myself coming back to it again and again like I do with similar-ish games that also use procedural generation to create its worlds, like Minecraft. I think there are fundamental flaws with No Man's Sky that prevent it from truly becoming a game everyone can enjoy in the long term, unless the devs regularly update the game with new content, which they fortunately do. But the moment they stop, whether it would be a couple months or a decade from now, will be the day No Man's Sky dies. You could argue that Minecraft has the same issue, but let's face it, you give someone an old version of Minecraft and they'd play it and shouting, wow, blocks! No Man's Sky over the course of its life has received 14 updates, with its most recent one being Origins. The most commercially notable ones being Next, which added a ton of new stuff in online multiplayer, Beyond, which added VR support and some other neat things. But as you can see from these Steam statistics, But as you can see from this graph, yes, I am backing up my points despite me not knowing what I'm talking about 70% of the time, the number of players increased with each major update and then slowly trickled down to a fraction of the peak. Also, a moment of silence for that severe drop at its launch. However, we do see a slow increase of players over a long period of time, due to the game being held in a new light with these new updates. This doesn't negate the fact that not everyone is able to stick to the game because of these positive changes, and I believe that problem lies deep within the foundations of No Man's Sky. In this video, I'll talk about two problems this game has that prevents it from reaching its initial player base of 200,000 people. The first one is the major problem that is rooted deep within its foundations, and the second problem is just something I don't like. Starting with No Man's Sky's biggest issue. Literally every game these days has it. No Man's Sky, Minecraft, all these other games I can't be bothered to research. Procedural generation is essentially letting a computer use assets you have made to create whatever the hell they want. When thinking about procedural generations in terms of games, the most notable one is Minecraft, followed by No Man's Sky. The fact that No Man's Sky uses procedural generation for almost everything in the game kinda takes away the magic of procedural generation. Every planet is unique, every ship is unique, every animal is unique. Yet with the sheer size of this universe combined with the limited assets Hello Games can make in a short period of time, there's bound to be overlap, and lots of it. This means that while every planet may be unique, a lot of them will be majorly similar to what you've previously seen. After playing a couple hours of the game, you would most likely have seen every type of planet there could be, and for the rest of your playthrough you only see variations of those planets. Compare that to Minecraft, which only uses procedural generation to generate the world you're in, as well as the fact that it only has to generate one world and not 18 quintillion planets, and that makes for a more ideal experience. Another problem is honestly the very beginning of the game. You always start stranded on a planet, learning the basics and repairing a ship so that you can fly away and eventually leave the system. This is totally fine for a new player, but for an experienced player or someone that wants to start afresh after being content with their old save, doing the exact same steps for an hour or sometimes even longer depending on the planet you spawned on can be very tedious. At its very essence, No Man's Sky is about exploration. So to lock players for over an hour, while it may be to gain useful knowledge, feels extremely handholdy. Aside from the beginning, the game is completely non-linear. You're free to go wherever you want and learn new things at your own pace. So why not have the beginning like that too? Minecraft and Breath of the Wild encourage exploration and allow players to learn the ropes by themselves instead of the game constantly telling you what to do, because what the whole beginning boils down to is a compulsory tutorial, which I goddamn hate. To give you an idea of the amount of things you'll have to do, I've prepared a concise list. After you've initialized, you will look around the world, realize you're fucked. It hasn't even been 1 minute, why am I dying? Find a cave, get out the cave, gather items, repair stuff, find shit, make stuff, repair shit, stop dying, fly off, oh for fuck's sake, follow marker, craft a terrain manipulator, make a base, expand base, this should be optional, why is it required? Gather items, rename your base, gather items, craft unnecessary things, gather items, enter space station, leave space station, follow marker, gather items, fly to another planet, oh for fuck's sake, gather items, why the hell does this need so much shit? Realize you left your refiner on another planet, fly to another planet, gather items, go to space station, find out you're poor as fuck, sell a bunch of shit, realize that's not enough, gather items, buy items, craft hyperdrive, oh I need fuel, what a fucking surprise, go to antimatter trace, but I have antimatter, refine chromatic metal for antimatter, but I fucking have antimatter, craft warp cell leave system. At the end of the day, I do have high hopes for this game, as it's apparent from the quality of the updates that Hello Games really do care about what they've made. I'm incredibly glad they didn't abandon it and are continuing to work on it to this day. While its launch was a bit... It's gotten to a point where No Man's Sky is pretty enjoyable to play. But that enjoyment doesn't last forever. While you can say the same for every other game out there, it's very prominent in No Man's Sky in particular. The absolute scale of its procedural generation makes your findings a lot less special when the pre-made assets used in this procedural generation are extremely limited in comparison. Hello Games can add more things, and they certainly are. They're constantly improving the game with every update, but they just cannot remedy this problem of No Man's Sky because it's a core part of the game. Also, the beginning fucking sucks so much.